In a remote corner of the world, far beyond the reach of ordinary travelers, there existed a kingdom carved between towering mountains rich with hidden veins of precious metals. The people believed their land was blessed, but those who lived closer to the palace knew the truth. Their king was a prisoner of his own greed. King Menador ruled from a fortress whose walls shimmered with golden dust. Servants polished the floors daily, yet the king never cared how his halls looked, only how much gold they could contain. His vaults overflowed, his chambers glittered, even the handles of his doors were shaped from solid gold. But none of it satisfied him. Menador spent every night hunched over piles of treasure, counting and recounting until his fingers cramped. His advisors feared him, not because he was cruel, but because greed had devoured what humanity he once possessed. It was said that his heart beat only for gold. Far from this wealth, near the rough base of the eastern mountain range, lived Baron, a thin, exhausted man whose life had been mocked by nearly everyone. He was no knight, no craftsman, and certainly no wealthy merchant. Baron was an alchemist who had failed so many experiments that people stopped calling him by his name and instead referred to him as Baron the Dreamer, a polite way of saying Baron the Fool. Yet Baron never let go of his obsession, the mythical philosopher's stone. He believed that if he could just find the right formula, he could turn ordinary metals into shining gold. His small cabin constantly smelled of burnt herbs and ashes. Cracked jars, broken flasks, and dusty books covered every corner. One afternoon, while cleaning a shelf that hadn't been touched in years, Baron discovered an old manuscript wrapped in cloth. Inside it was a pouch made of black deerskin tied with a thin silver cord. Next to it was an old note, its ink nearly erased by time. Beware the black pouch. Ask only for little. Never look inside. It does not create gold. It devours it. Baron's breath caught. He didn't believe in curses, yet something in the words felt ancient and dangerous. Still, curiosity tugged at him more firmly than fear. Gently, he whispered, "1 gold coin, just one." Nothing happened. But when he nervously reached into the pouch, his hand didn't stop at the bottom. It slid deep into a cold, endless space. When he pulled it out, a flawless gold coin rested in his palm, gleaming like a piece of sunlight. This single moment reshaped his life. In the days that followed, Baron asked for more, tiny amounts at first, then larger ones. He bought food he once only dreamed of tasting, replaced his worn clothes, and repaired his collapsing roof. The villagers, shocked by his sudden fortune, whispered tales of impossible magic. Rumors spread quickly, and soon they reached the ears of the king. Menador, upon hearing that someone in his kingdom possessed gold-making abilities, reacted with predictable fury. He dispatched a squad of elite guards to seize the supposed alchemist and retrieve whatever tool he used. Baron didn't resist. The guards dragged him through the palace gates as he clung to the black pouch, trembling. Before the throne, King Menador leaned forward on his throne, eyes burning with a hunger that could swallow the world. "So," he said, "you are the man who makes gold appear out of thin air. Show me." Baron tried to explain. "Your Majesty, it's not what you think. This pouch is dangerous." But Menador's patience had long ago turned to dust. "Show me," he repeated, voice cold and sharp. Baron reached into the pouch and produced a cascade of shimmering gold coins. They scattered across the floor like stars. The king rose instantly. "The pouch. Give it to me." "No, please," Baron begged. "It's not a treasure, it's a prison." But Menador tore it from his hands anyway. He pulled the silver cord. The moment the pouch opened, the air split with a violent hiss. A storm of black smoke burst forth, swirling upward and filling the throne room with a cold that sank into the skin. The smoke thickened, forming the towering shape of a creature with burning red eyes and a voice that vibrated through the stone walls. At last, it growled, freedom after centuries of darkness. Guards froze. Baron fainted. The king clenched the pouch tighter. "Who dares break my seal?" the creature demanded. Menador forced himself to stand tall. "I am King Menador, ruler of this land. I freed you. Now you will serve me." The creature laughed, a terrible sound that echoed like cracking bones. "Serve you? I was fed for centuries by the greed of men like you. Every coin I produced consumed a piece of their souls. And now, your hunger reeks strongest of all." Still, greed blinded the king. "I want power," he said. "Give me the touch of gold, the ability to turn anything I touch into priceless treasure." The creature tilted its smoky head. "Very well. I grant you the touch you desire." It exhaled a cloud of icy darkness over the king's hands. Menador staggered as the chill spread through his blood. When he could feel his hands again, they tingled with unnatural strength. He turned to a silver goblet beside him. The catastrophe begins. The moment he touched it, the goblet stiffened, its shine vanished, and it transformed completely into lifeless stone. What is this?" Menador hissed. He touched the velvet curtains. They hardened instantly. He touched a fountain. Its water became frozen grey shards. He touched a golden statue. It crumbled into dust. His golden touch was not gold at all. It was the touch of death. The curse consumed everything it touched. In a moment of terror and rage, he grabbed Baron by the shoulder. The alchemist turned to stone within seconds, his final expression frozen in horror. A kingdom turned into a tomb. From that night onward, the king lived in isolation. Servants tried to bring him food, but even the knives and plates turned to stone. He was forced to eat like an animal, lowering his face to bowls on the floor, terrified of touching anything. One by one, the castle's inhabitants fled, leaving behind rooms slowly turning to stone. Menador's world collapsed into silence. Yet the worst tragedy was still to come. The Princess Zara, Menador's 7-year-old daughter, did not understand why her father had vanished behind locked doors. She loved him deeply. He was the only person with whom he tried to be gentle. One night, hearing him sob in the empty hall, she pushed open the massive stone doors and ran to him. "Father, I knew you were here." The king's heart dropped into a void. "Zara, no. Stay back." But children run toward love, not away from it. She threw herself forward. The king reached out instinctively, not to hold her, but to stop her. His fingertips brushed her shoulder. And that was enough. Her laughter fell silent. Her eyes turned glassy. Her warm skin grew cold. Her small body stiffened, slowly becoming a perfect stone statue of a child who only wanted to hug her father. Something inside Menador broke beyond repair. He didn't scream. He didn't weep. He simply stared at the frozen image of his daughter and then at his cursed hands. In a voice emptied of life, he whispered, "I wanted wealth that would last forever, and now I live among treasures that will never change." With a hollow smile, he walked through the palace touching everything: walls, gardens, pillars, turning his once glorious home into a landscape of stone. Then he closed the doors behind him and was never seen again. Travelers who pass near the ruined palace claim that on cold, moonless nights, they hear faint, echoing words drifting through the air. Gold fades. Greed consumes. Stone remains. Don't miss out on the most beautiful stories. Subscribe to stay with us in every new chapter.